Hello, welcome to the 29th day of September 2025. My name is Kurt, and this is my daily Good Life meditation, a daily video that I do live every morning at 5:30 a.m. Japan time to go over my life objectives and principles. Oops, I forgot the book. Those which are outlined in my book, Going Alone. I also use this time to think about the last 24 hours and how I did with any noteworthy challenges or opportunities. I reflect on my creed, and I prepare for the coming day. While I get my book, let me do my standard disclaimer. Welcome to new subscribers to the channel. It's good to have you here. Let me go get the book. This video, though, is a live video journal. So as such, I'm at liberty to discuss any topic I want to any degree of detail that I want, greater or lesser. And I sometimes talk about things that are uncomfortable to people, like the topic of death, so just be forewarned. You're welcome to leave comments, criticisms, whatever you like. I typically do not read comments or respond to them during the process because it gotta keep my flow going. It's a kind of it's like writing in your journal. It's hard to write in your journal if you're attending to other people. But when I'm done, I do look at the comments and respond to them. It's kind of a fun session at the end. So feel free to leave comments anytime you want. But forgive me if it seems like I'm ignoring you initially. I am, deliberately, so that I can then get through the main bulk of this. Finally, a huge thank you and my gratitude to those who are watching and who watch my videos, and especially those who are my YouTube members and my Patreon supporters. Your support means a great deal to me. Thank you. All right, let's get into it. First, let's take a look at the last 24 hours. Oh, don't forget the temperature and humidity, Kurt. It's currently 20, it's a little warmer today. 23, a little over 23 degrees and 84% humidity. 23 and 84, that doesn't bode well for today. This suggests that we're going to have a tough one today. And I have some things I need to be doing out and about. So yesterday, I paid a little bit of a penalty yesterday, spent a little bit too much time outside in the late, hot afternoon, and that definitely got to me. But let's see how I do today. Excuse me while I sip my tea. So first, let's take a look at the last 24 hours. I have one note here. It says, walked easily through a challenging landscape. What that basically means is I faced down a circumstance that was a direct circumstance that I would have faced down 20 years ago in the same setting, that I would have handled them in a much different way. We went, Yumiko, my wife, Yoko, her sister, and I went to a facility called Shimizu S-Pulse Dream Plaza. That's a mouthful. And it's think of it as like a shopping center, movie theater slash cultural center located in the harbor area of the nearby community of Shimizu, which is a ward, a section of larger Shizuoka city. It's basically the port part of town. They've got this beautiful facility called Dream Plaza, which leverages the branding of our soccer team, the S-Pulse soccer team. So it's got the orange colors and the teams. You always see images of the team members there and their team mascots running around. And it's quite a thing. I remember when they first built that, our daughter was probably just 3 years old or so, I think, back then. So literally saying 20 years, she's 20, almost 25 now. Where's this warm wind coming from? Don't blow the plants over. Saying that compared yesterday to 20 years ago is a direct comparison. I remember when they first opened that facility, and I would take my family there. I would drive, and my wife and daughter would come along, and my wife sit beside me, my daughter bundled up in her child seat behind, and we would go to the Dream Plaza. And it was my first time back since I came back to Japan. And the facility has largely remained unchanged. The same layout, same structure, same events on the first floor, same doors opening onto the harbor side there with a little kiddie wading pool if you wanted to get in the water, in the harbor water. It's safe. Here's the difference. 20 years ago, when I would go with my family, I was in my early 40s, I was ill prepared to handle that venue. I did my best. I was one of those dads, and I saw similar dads yesterday, and a few moms too. I was one of those dads that would be doing my family duty. They call it in Japan. I think they call it Sunday duty, right? When dad has to take the family out and entertain and buy them all lunch and dip in dots at the ice cream place and all the things that a good duteous parent should do, namely a father should do. I don't know. It's a role that we have here. And it's a different role. It doesn't mean that women don't have their role and they don't have their responsibility. It's just different. Doesn't mean you have to enjoy it. It doesn't mean you have to necessarily wear on your face a false satisfaction. You can display your true self, and I saw plenty of that yesterday. Like I said, I saw other dads in their early 40s with their families in tow, doing exactly what I used to do with my family. Now, I did my best job back then. I showed up for duty. It all started when we first arrived and we got in the queue to park the car. And I remember getting into that same queue to park the car with my family. And it kind of like post-traumatic stress syndrome. I hope I'm not belittling that, by analogizing it to that experience. But it kind of feels like it. It was the structure, you put yourself in some sort of a circumstance and it takes you back, right? Suddenly you're back. I'm 42 years old and I've got a small child and we're in the car and we're going to the Dream Plaza and I'm exhausted from a hard week of doing work that I don't like. And I'm young and still midlife and kind of beginning to feel like, well, my time's running out. What the hell am I doing with my life? I'm toting around kid, doing this thing that I don't want to do when I could be out, surfing or something. The thoughts that go through the middle-aged father or mother or a person without children even, wondering about the life that they might be missing and the time and the clock that's ticking. So as a result, back 20 years ago, when I was in that circumstance, I did my duty. I stepped forward to the plate. I put on a best smile. I entertained my daughter. My wife could see through all this stuff back then. She knew that there was something in me that was not quite there, as I saw so many spouses kind of eyeing each other yesterday, the same situation. I think it's a phase of life type of a thing, a lack of maturity type of thing, a weight of responsibility type of thing, all of those types of things. The point was, I braced myself as Yoko, as my sister-in-law, was driving, and we pulled into the queue, like I said, to park the car, and I said, oh my gosh, I'm back. I'm back in that circumstance that used to tax me such, that I used to be, struggle to get through, and my life is so easy now. Why do I want to put myself through this? And I was braced for it. I didn't need to be. It was an easy, the note says, walking easy through a challenging landscape. I was in the same setting, same type of a circumstance. It was a tea festival we'd gone to attend. And yet I walked through it with like that guy in Apocalypse Now, the one colonel, right, that walks through the minefields, the explosions going off, right? Just so that, I love the smell of napalm in the morning. I mean, I hope I'm not being too politically insensitive. But you know what I mean. It was like this is no big deal. And it wasn't all because of me. It wasn't all because, well, it was, and it wasn't. But it wasn't all because of my maturity necessarily. A large measure of this fact was the fact that I wasn't toting around a little kid, which is hard work to do. I was with two other adults my age who were free and at liberty, and we were having fun. Plus, I wasn't saddled with the stress of the preceding week. I don't work anymore. I don't have really much stress at all anymore. I didn't, oh, what was that? I saw something fly over and then hit me in the head. Gotta watch out, it's hornet season. This is when, after that, that's when you dismiss it, right? And then 3 minutes from now, I'll feel something crawl up my back because it's just dropped down onto my back. Anything back there? I don't think so. So, one, I didn't have a kid. That's a huge thing. 2, I didn't. I don't have the stress, really almost any stress in life anymore, let alone the stress of a job. 3, this is huge. I didn't have anything waiting for me. Like back when I was in my 40s, I'd be like, "What am I missing? What have I got to do? What life's work have I got yet to achieve? I've finished my life's work. I wrote my book and a few extras on top of that. I raised my kid, and she's doing fine. I've fulfilled my career. I finished my career. That's all done. There's nothing left to do, but to simply make good utilization of the remaining days." So as a result, I walked through it like Stilbo, the Stoic. I had all my goods with me, and I literally felt that one circumstance after another. And I don't need to tell you any details about those circumstances. They're totally beside the point, but you get the idea. Yesterday was a really interesting case study in returning home, so to speak, and finding everything had changed. Or maybe simply I had changed. And the circumstances in which I live have changed. Yes. Okay, enough about that. Now for my creed. My creed consists of 8 objectives and 35 principles. I usually recite the objectives. Sometimes I go into the detail about them and read one of the principles, but I've actually finished reading all of the principles. So I'm circling around and I'm going to read objective number 4. The good, hold on. To be always ready to die, to make good and effective use of time, to develop and maintain good and sound life principles. I didn't read that one yesterday, did I? That's the one I got to do. Develop and good and sound life principles. So let me cue that up, then we'll get started. Yep, there it is. Okay, my objectives, and I would say if there's anything that I can attribute to yesterday's success for, then I'm going to give myself a good 5 stars on that. It wasn't like I had to do anything about it, but I was in balance the whole time yesterday. The reason that I was able, a large part of the reason that I was able to do that, in addition to and besides the fact that I'm no longer parenting, no longer actively parenting, and no longer working, is the fact that I have, developed and, is the word inculcated, a creed, an effective creed into my worldview and my active living. This going alone, this good life creed is not static. It's not something I wrote down and let go. Because of this exercise every day, making these videos, we're thinking about my life, trying to improve it, trying to apply my principles to my challenges and opportunities, has made it so that it's almost like automatic. It's like I've become like a kung fu expert that walks through the world, capable of executing kung fu at every moment, right? And that's only because of constant daily practice. The first 2 objectives, and you can read about these in Going Alone. If you go online to goingalone.org, click on the Read the Book button, go to the chapter titled The Good Life. Number 1 is to be always ready to die, to have my affairs, my relationships, and my life's work in a good state at all times, so that if today's the end of my life, I'm not leaving any messes behind or any unfinished business. My second objective is to make good and effective use of my time, to live in such a way that I'm not wasting my days, letting them just pass like sand through my fingers. If some of you out there, Julie, Tim, Evelyn, Robert, we were talking yesterday about, the good utilization of our days, and I think some of you, Julie comes to mind, who was talking about, kind of feeling a little bit restless with just you didn't use the word wasting time, Julie. You said just letting idle time pass, right? I mean, I think it's part and parcel of our natures, right? Even if we've completed our life's work, we still kind of feel that restlessness. The objective number 2, the good use of time, speaks to that. And maybe it's an inherent need that doesn't need to be addressed as much anymore at this stage in my life or our lives, but there it is nonetheless. And I think it's a good thing if I can attend to it even when I don't need to. It's like doing something that's healthy to a little bit of excess. It's still something healthy. The third objective is to develop and maintain good and sound life principles. So let's read that from the book on page 249 of the hardbound edition. Objective number 3, develop and maintain good and sound life principles. And a quote. I did read this yesterday, didn't I? This is the one I read yesterday because I remember this Roman proverb, do good and let the sky fall. So what I want to read then is objective number 4, which is to cultivate good emotional reactions, which is, a powerful one. If there's any objective that I would like to seek to have just as automatic in my life, it's this one. Avast. The wind she blows. Let me put this plant behind Mr. Daruma, and I might put these plants away if this wind keeps up. Cultivating good emotional reactions. Let's read. I will take control of my emotions such that these inform my living more than control it. Feelings and reactions will then become life counselors rather than rulers and chiefs. Through this effort, I will create and reflect a life of equanimity through inward control and a resulting outward peace. That outward peace is a very real and attainable thing. It's amazing. I will remember that life is lived as one upon a seashore. I can never get away from the sea, in my writing. Noting and living according to the tides, which fall now with feelings of low regard towards our purpose and meaning and well-being, followed later by rising spirits and outlook, with the fresh, clean flood flowing in, temporary, here for a very short season, before the ebb comes again to frustrate, confuse, and concern us in an always recurring cycle of lows and highs, and lows again once more. Let me secure my plants because this freshening breeze might knock them over, and it's a rather long drop for a small little maple plant. Let me put Daruma-san away, and I'll talk a little bit about my plans for today while we do this. Well, I'm being visited today. It seems to happen a lot, at least once a month. Someone either comes to visit me or they want to talk to me on the phone or something like that, and I'm always happy to do such things. So someone's taking a train down from Tokyo today, and we're going to meet at the train station, Kusanagi train station over here, which is on the JR line, and we're going to have coffee, or maybe even lunch, we'll see. And so that's on the agenda. That's happening around 11-ish, their train arrives. So I'm looking forward to that. And before that, good thing I'm putting stuff away. Before that, I have my office hours from 10:30 to 11, from 10 to 10:30 a.m. And I'll do that, which is fun. I did that twice last week on Thursday and Friday. No one came by on Thursday, my first day to do it. Someone dropped in on Friday. It's in Discord. So it's kind of like this, but unlike this, where you all are watching me talk and the most you can do is leave a comment. On the Discord office hour, it's like a team or Zoom meeting, right? Where people can pop in and we can actually be there and talk and interact and do all kinds of stuff. It's over on the softypapa Discord server. Just send me a message. I think there's a link. There might be a link down in the description to it, although there won't be an invite link. I should do something. I should add a non-expiring invite link down in the description to these videos. I'll do that. If you check any of my social media feeds, I just did a post. I just did a post on Facebook actually that has the link as well. And you can always reach out to me at dinnerbytheriver@gmail.com and get the link there. Come join me if you like. Let's read comments. Hello, Julie. Good morning to you. Good afternoon, or good afternoon to you. Good afternoon. Our weather took a sudden turn and went cold and cloudy today, so I guess summer is over. Feels that way here too. Julie says hi to Evelyn, and Tim says good morning and checking in the UK at 9:35 p.m. at 9.4 C and 89% humidity. Nice sunny day, getting warmer this week. Oh, that sounds pretty nice. I guess that means you're going to be getting your boots on and getting outside, maybe into the garden, maybe for a long walk, or maybe even a jog. Evelyn says hello to everybody and notes it was a little warmer today in Bologna than the last 2 days. Delightful. Tim says hi to Evelyn, and Julie says, this is so true about what used to be hard is now easy, but I find the flip side as well. So what used to be easy is now hard. Good point, Julie. That's true. Yeah, a lot of stuff that used to be easy is now more difficult. Like for me, driving for one, although it's gotten easier now that my eye's better. I could go on, the list goes on. You're right, maybe it's all kind of like a balance, right? You can never have it all, right? Something we've got to give. Tim says, I think for me now in retirement, there's nothing left to do except to enjoy life as each day brings. I don't feel the need to prove anything, but still create situations that challenge myself. Perfectly put. What Tim just said, I'm striving for that. Within reason, Tim adds. Julie says, the good use of time for me comes down to doing things to advance my own physical and emotional health. I love that. Evelyn says the good use of time for her is studying Greek and Roman philosophy. Ooh, that's a very, very good use of time. I agree. Julie says to live happily but also to remain 100% independent. Ah, there's a worthy ambition. Julie notes to Evelyn her impressive ambition of studying Greek and Roman philosophy. Tim says, it's funny, my neighbors who live opposite and their kids never seem to get up until lunchtime, and at the weekends, I'm usually up at 6 a.m. and I think, what a waste of time. But forget they are working. Their good use of time is the working week. That's an adept, is the word adroit. That's a nimble observation and perception, Tim. I really like watching what you just did there. Noting that seeing that what they're doing sleeping in is not a good use of time, but remembering that they're still in the working paradigm. It's like watching Kobe Bryant, do a great layup, or maybe an assist. I'm not a basketball kind of guy, but I'm using terms I shouldn't. I'm not qualified to use. Maybe on the Lakers, when one team maker does this thing and throws the ball up, and the guy flies through the air, and it's like you spotted the one thing, and then you turned it around and you saw the other, right? I love nimble thinking. I went over Josko's comment here. Hello, Josko. Welcome. Josko Brauvic. I think I've seen you here before. Kurt, it's been years since I last heard from you. Greetings from one of your two old Croatian friends, not the Soviet Union. Glad to see you well. I know exactly who you are. I know exactly. In fact, I had a good opportunity to think about you and your other Croatian friend the other day, because and here's how I'm going to tell you how I know that you will know. I know exactly who you are. I remember you and your friend helping me to understand about how Croatia was a place where, and there's a hornet, how Croatia was a place where, and Evelyn, you're in Italy, so you probably are aware of this. Croatia, and I didn't know this, was a place where the Europeans loved to go to vacation, that the Croatian coastline was famous for as a vacation spot. And I remember during our discussion, my comment about the Soviet Union, which you referenced here as well. And it's very, very nice to see you again. And the reason that I had a chance to remember you recently was I was talking to somebody in Europe, and they were telling me that they were going to Croatia for holiday. And I was like, oh yes, I hear the holiday making in Croatia is fantastic. And they were impressed that me, an American, was aware that Croatia was a vacation destination there. Have I demonstrated to you that I remember you? And please say hello to your other Croatian friend as well. And by the way, on the fact of our past conversation about Croatia, did add it to my list of places that I would like to see. Evelyn, have you been to Croatia yourself? I wonder. Evelyn's in your area right now. It's good to see you, Josko. Julie says, even way over here in California, people think of Croatia as a beautiful country. Ah, see, So it wasn't just, I thought it was just because I was a Californian that I didn't know about Croatia. So it looks like my other fellow, that wasn't a good excuse. Julie over in California also knows about Croatia. That's great. Well, the wind is coming up, and I'm going to be doing radio exercise in just a little bit. I'm going to wrap this up. Evelyn says that Croatia is on the list. I'm going to do radio exercise in just a bit, and then we'll get the day unfolding. Today's Retiring in Japan upload is a long one, almost an hour long. We were down at the tea festival at Dream Plaza, like I mentioned earlier. It's a pretty good one. It's an action-packed one. I've added a lot of a lot of bam, a lot of action to my videos on the Retiring in Japan series. Hopefully, it won't make people seasick. Josko says, haha, I'm proud of you, as well as surprised that you're remembering me over a decade later. Wishing you all the best. Enjoy following your journey. Thank you very much. Yes, I'm glad that we could reconnect, and come join me again if you have time sometime. And everybody again, welcome. All of you are welcome anytime you want to come over to the Discord server, 10 o'clock to 10:30 a.m. Monday through Friday, Japan time. I will be there. We can talk in a Teams type of, like a Zoom meeting type of format. Send me an email, dinnerbytheriver@gmail.com, if you're not sure how to find my Discord server or how to use it. Evelyn says, bye everybody. Always lovely hanging out with you all as well. Have a great day, everybody. Be safe, but not too safe. Bye-bye. And a special shout out to Josko. Say hello to your other Croatian friend. Bye-bye. You have a great Monday as well. Thanks, Tim.